going to start schooling this guy. It really has not happened. All right. He gets warned here. But Vendetti has been able to, close that gap and get a little close. You got to close that gap. You got to get through no man's land and then rough him up on the inside and hopefully score some points. You see the punches landed. That's heavily in favor of Erislandy Lara. 32-15, 7-zip so far in this round.
Now, Vendetti just got warned for something from Jerry Cantu, and I couldn't really make out what it was. Maybe being too rough on the inside or using a shoulder. Yeah, using a shoulder. I mean, you know, look, when a guy is sitting on your neck, pushing down on you, what are you going to do? I mean, you got to wiggle out of that. You got to use your man strength, whether it's your shoulders, your forearms, or whatever. So, I don't necessarily agree with that. I didn't see Vendetti doing anything wrong there, but maybe I missed it.
Yeah, I mean, there's certain times where he comes in pretty close with the head, so maybe the referees warn him about that as well.
Well, I think it was a soft warning too, right? I mean, it wasn't like I'm taking a point away. It was like that. It was kind of, hey, don't do that.
It was, but I'm going to tell you something. Sometimes it can make that fighter now hesitate a little bit. As a coach, I hate that only because I know it may be planting a seed in my fighter saying, hey, don't be so rough. Don't keep doing what you're doing. I want you to do something different, and it may not be to your
that could be successful.
You're right, and it may not be to your advantage, you know.
Lara able to snap out the jab here and there in this round. Round 3, he's able to take his time. Close, you know, right. I appreciate you wearing the same suit that Lennox has.
Yeah, what is that? The Bobsy twin thing. Forget it. Back to the fight. Here we go. I think this thing is going to heat up pretty soon because we're in the 4th round here, and Lara's got to start letting his hands go a little bit more. I know Vendetti isn't doing a whole heck of a lot. He's trying to get inside first. See, he's got to do that, and he just hurt him with that left hand.
Oh, that was a good hard left hand. Vendetti lifting up off his feet, too. He got starched by that. He's trying to regain his composure. Yeah. Well, he ate that pretty well. He comes back in, looks to fight. Lunging and trying to close that gap. Got hit very hard there from Lara.
See, Lara's doing the right thing. He's keeping Vendetti at the space where he wants to keep him, so he can catch him with that left hand coming in.
Well, you know, he's been, Lennox, throwing these shots like kind of that pawing, but that left hand he threw just a moment ago, what is he pointing at, his shoelaces? And he threw that with conviction. That was a very different left hand that he just threw.
Yeah, the left hand that he threw is coming straight across. Sometimes it's coming with conviction where he turns it to the side a little bit. But, you know, he's doing the right thing right now.
And it looked like he did point to his shoes. What was that?
You know, it's point to your shoes, look down, and then I'll hit you.
Yeah, like the oldest trick in the book.
The oldest trick in the book.
At this level. Yeah.
I told you he's got.
I could see someone fighting John L. Like on the rails doing that.
I think we got a replay of it. Hold on, here it is. Look, hey, look down there. What? Where? Right.
He didn't look though. He didn't look.
Well, yeah.
Oh my goodness, the oldest trick in the book.
Yeah. Didn't catch. Didn't connect and didn't catch him.
Yeah. Vendetti again got hurt earlier in this round as Lara able to pick up the intensity, but fighting back admirably. Nice jab from Lara. That nailed him.
Well,
trying to pick up the pace.
Right now he's kind of taming Vendetti. Vendetti slowed down, and the amount of times Vendetti's making those charges has diminished in this round, of course, after getting clipped like that. So he's going to have to get it back together, Vendetti, and get back to what he did in the first couple rounds. And that's put a good hard charge on.
And look, this is what a world-class defensive specialist does. Whether you're Floyd Mayweather taking the air out of the ball, you know, against Canelo, or Lara now having Vendetti throw 28 punches around when he averages 70.
Yeah.
So he is, because of his ability to make him miss, Vendetti is just not able to throw the same volume.
This is where he's got to let his hands go. I mean, Lara just let him in. I mean, that's where you got to go.
Yeah, Vendetti makes that move. He makes that move, and then all of a sudden, he doesn't go through with it. So he's got to decide what to do.
Erislandy, Lara, nice combination there. A right hand from Vendetti really hurt.
But see, it's the same spot. He leans out to his left there. Boom. Man, left-handers live off it.
End of the round now. Look at the uppercut from Lara and the hook as well as he had real success in that round. But Vendetti, with that fighting spirit, fellas, fired back that right hand.
He did. Caught Lara on top of the head there.
Greg Vendetti, by the way, I mentioned his trainer, Joe Ricciardi, has been with him from the outset. He's also promoted by Ken Casey of the Dropkick Murphys, very active in the Boston fighting scene there. Our researcher, Joe, Mark Ortega, said to me, the Dropkick Murphys are a band that plays a lot of Irish music. I said, Mark, I know.
Yeah, right.
I've been to Fenway Park. I'm Irish. I get it. I work for MLB Network. Yes, when you're at a Red Sox game, you hear the Dropkick Murphys.
Yes.
That's who that is.
And speaking of Mark Ortega and Justin Goodman, our crack research team, I just got to give them their props because they are terrific with the information they provide to us, right, Brian?
Outstanding. Week after week, the lay of the land. And Vendetti making a good effort here. And that's what I mentioned, the fight against Yoshi Kamagai. That was a quality win for Vendetti. So you need those level of progression fights to keep stepping up and at least have a shot so you can at least recognize things from a guy like Lara. Yet, obviously, it's still very difficult. Round number 5, Lara getting the better of this so far, but Vendetti making it interesting at times.
Yeah, Lara is doing he's really poised against the ropes. You can tell, he shows the experience level in this fight. He takes his time, he picks his shots, he doesn't like to waste punches, but he knows the kind of punches what he wants to throw against Vendetti. And one thing what he does well is throwing that hook, that right hook, and coming across with that left hand.
Marcos Villegas is doing our unofficial scoring. Marcos, how do you have it?
Up to this point, 39-37, Erislandy, Lara. I gave Greg Vendetti the second round. Just not much was done there, and I felt he landed just a few more better punches that left an impression with me. But overall, I think Erislandy, Lara is having his way and having his fight at this point.
Interesting. Okay, Marcos, I didn't expect Vendetti to even take a round, but that shows you that a judge could reasonably have it that way. Interesting. Erislandy, Lara getting the better of it here. By the way, he wants Canelo, or he wants the winner of Charlo Rosario, which is September 26th. In his last fight, he knocked out Canelo's older brother, Ramon, which is, not the same thing, but I guess you feel like you knocked out Canelo's brother. Next best thing.
Yeah, I'm sure Canelo wants revenge for that. I mean, somebody knocked out my brother. I want revenge. Take the real brother.
I thought that was a close fight. Again, 2014, Lara, and frequently when we were talking about Canelo Alvarez and who has he fought, frequently Joe Goose and I brought up, hey, wait a second, fighting Austin Trout and Erislandy Lara back then, that was taking, that was a no-win proposition fighting slick boxers.
Yeah, and Trout, a great left-hander as well.
Nightmare, things of nightmares. Final seconds here. Vendetti trying to close the gap. But still, he threw some big left hands. And Lennox, he's able to change that pace. When he digs in and throws a left hand, it's a power shot.
Yeah, he throws great power shots because he digs in. He basically takes the punch and then he digs his feet in and he comes back with a power shot.
Lara had said of Canelo, because he wants the winner of Charlo and Rosario, but he said, look, Canelo is only fighting dead people now. I thought that was a bit unfair, but Canelo's still looking for an opponent, by the way, so whenever anyone says, hey, I'll fight Canelo, it's like, well, Canelo is evidently still looking for people. Round 6 here, and Lara has been competitive at the highest level for a long time, and he still looks slick tonight. Your thoughts, Joe? Any slippage, or does he still look like he's at the top?
Well, look, he is at the top. He's world champ. But, here's the thing. I'm kind of looking at the fight here, and Vendetti's doing a couple of good things in the last round. He's starting to slide over to the right instead of going to the left, to his left, Vendetti's left. He's moving to his right a little bit more, even though he didn't on that move. But last round, he was doing that and having a little success at confusing Lara. Now, to answer your question about Lara, no, he's still great. Look, I mean, I think he'll rise to the occasion. The better the fighter in front of him, the better he's going to do. Because the better fighters are going to take more chances, and that gives him an opportunity to counter and use his real skills. But right now, look, Vendetti is, he's forcing himself on Lara right here, and Lara's allowing it. But, I got to tell you, I think Lara is, he could open up more, but right now Vendetti's doing a good job.
So you're saying the answer is yes?
Yeah. Okay.
All right. I mean, Lara, to me, again, you're saying that he wants to fight at the biggest fights. And you mentioned the WBA thing. He has a regular